I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
So Matt, once again, welcome back to another review, and this is another paid request, this time from Seth, as for the Poughkeepsie Tapes. Now, the Poughkeepsie Tapes is a film I've heard of for quite a while, and I didn't bother watching it because I'm like, I don't know about this. I've seen a lot of found footage movies, and I did not know, though, which was a surprise, which is why I overall did not mind the film. It's hard to say I liked it, but I thought it was, for what it was intended for, I thought it was fairly well done. I did not realize it was more of a, I want to say a mockumentary. It was more, I thought the film was entirely found footage. I thought it was the right call to not do it that way, because I feel it would just get redundant into evil sumbitch does this, evil sumbitch does this. From what I understand, kind of what August Underground was, which I don't ever want to watch those films unless I'm paid a shitload of money. I mean a shitload, because those films seem like wastes of fucking spirit and time, especially based on my friend Mike OCP's comments on it. This seems like a much better version of that, though, from what I heard, because a lot of it is interviews, newscasters, forensics, doctors talking about these crimes, and then you see a bit of the footage. Like, I almost want to say a better version of The Last Broadcast, like that type of film. Which originally, that's what the Blair Witch Project was supposed to be. The Blair Witch Project was supposed to be a film like this, where it's going to be interviews, newscasters, kind of like what they did with Curse of the Blair Witch. And on that instance, I thought, no, the strictly found footage worked a lot better. Here, this worked better, and if you didn't know anything about it, it seems believable. My friend Michael Keane, the Choice Voice, he saw this film, he thought it was real. And I had to comment, oh, well, Michael, wait, this is fiction, this is not real. And he's like, what? And so then he redid the review, now knowing that this is a piece of fiction. And, you know, my friend is a smart guy, and I can understand him and others thinking that if you didn't know anything about it, it would seem real. But no, this is not a real thing. It's not even really based on a certain real thing. It's just, hey, there are crimes, whatever you want to name, base it on that. Because it's done more like something you would see on, I don't want to say 2020, but Dateline or something of that sort, where it's, they found all these tapes of this killer that's still out there, and interviews with profilers, person that was logging all the footage, where the footage was found, and you're shown some of the footage, weird stuff like a balloon bounce, a woman blowing up a balloon and bouncing on it, and the guy screaming at the woman to pop it. Which I thought was weird at first, but then as it went on, I'm like, okay, this is the kind of person this is. And I guess because of these profiles, interviewers, it is like watching a Dateline or one of those type of programs, but in your back of your head, you're interested to see how the criminal mind works and how these people look at this and try to look at the forensics nature of it. But in the back of your head, it's fine to watch because you know this is fake. It didn't really happen to a real person. So you have that sort of comfort in the back of your head, but you still be creeped out by the program. And again, for its intended purpose, it could be a very creepy film. You know, the first kill where he kills a little kid is done, I would almost say tastefully, only because it's more you hear it, and your mind puts in what happened. And then it's the forensics and profile, explaining what happened. And you have these scenes like a couple picks him up, he kills the guy, chloroforms the girl. Later on, there's footage of him talking with these Girl Scout cookie laid girls, and you get that tension of, oh, is he going to do something with these girls too? Because it's all fair game, you don't know what's going to happen next. And then also it's a case of Stockholm Syndrome, where he takes this girl and he tortures her and does these horrible things. This girl named Cheryl. But then throughout it, there's a Stockholm Syndrome occurs. And again, it's definitely an interesting look at Stockholm Syndrome. Although I do think a bit more of that could have been done, because that kind of pops up at the very end. But when you see the footage, it would have been nice to see a bit more of that Stockholm Syndrome developing. I don't think there's not a lot of that. Again, I do think that the newscasters and like the people talking on camera, that definitely elevated the film. Because if it was just footage, it would have been another typical fucking footage, and this constant stream of gravity would be, you would get numb. You'd get tired of it. I'm bored of it. Okay, I get it. Life sucks. Okay. Repeat, repeat. But then you have people talk about the nature of evil, and you have people, again, and everyone did their jobs well, where the people talking on camera seem believable. Again, it fooled my friend Michael Keane, and it probably fooled people when they saw, and then that's probably why it didn't get released for quite a few years. Just believe me, there's been a shitload of found footage movies. I've seen them. And mockumentaries are interesting to me. I like when they do that. Savage Land I reviewed. I really, really like Savage Land. I like that more than this. Because Savage Land, it was interesting because the footage was only still pictures, and the story painted was even more crazy with, I want to say, almost a supernatural to it as well, kind of. I don't know. I don't want to review that. I don't mind, but this is about Poughkeepsie Tapes. But, I mean, you do get some creepy moments, like this body found where the husband's head's been sewn into the woman's stomach. And the VHS camcorder material is very legitimate. Like the way they made it look. And the directors of this would go on to do As Above, So Below, which I really enjoyed. That's actually one of my favorite found footage movies. Really love As Above, So Below. And I think didn't they also do Quarantine? That might have been someone else. I can't remember. Which I wasn't a fan of Quarantine. I can't remember. Might be someone else who did it. And you know, there's talk about the costume this character wears and why is he wearing it? What does it represent? And there's some scenes I went, ooh, shit. Like the killer at one point went up to the mom of the person he took, is talking to her nicely, and all of a sudden she's like, wait a minute. And then he runs off. And I think what also helps when you get people interviewed is that if you have questions, then the people being interviewed, they could help answer it. So you're not left there going, well, wait a minute, what about this? What about this? How come she didn't do this? How come she didn't run after him? Oh, okay. They're explaining the mindset. Whether you agree or disagree, at least they explain the mindset. And I think that is a point where leading you by the hand can work in a beneficial manner. And also like how the killer gets a different MO and really showcases how smart this person is. Quite a few steps ahead of the authorities. Again, it's not a nice movie to watch. That's not usually my cup of tea. Call me a sucker for other stuff. The way it ends, I know it's supposed to end like the killer's out there. For me, it just seemed like, oh, well, in case there's a sequel. Maybe that's not the director's intention, but that's just what I came out of it. I would have preferred if it was... Because it didn't seem like there was much of a finale. And it's at the end instead it goes, well, there's these tapes missing. I wonder what those tapes were. I'm like, I could already guess what the hell they were. It's probably another girl he took. And then at the end credits, yep, it's another girl too. I'm like, I fucking guessed that. It wasn't that fucking surprising to me. He's letting you see everything else. It's because he wants you to wait until... Shh, I got another person, just wait. So I don't know, like that wasn't really my cup of tea, that ending. I mean, I think it would have been more satisfying to me if you did kill... Like, if the person's filming it, and the cops come in and shoot him, and we see that from his point of view, and then you're left with... I mean, this is spoilers. I should have said that before, spoilers. Because when it ends with... Oh, you find out this girl that they found, who's missing some limbs, she's so fucked up she still loves the guy, and that's what I mean. I wish there was a bit more of the Stockholm Syndrome in the footage we saw, like more of that. You just show less killings and more of that. I'm not talking about the torture part, I'm talking about her being more hunky-dory with this guy, so to speak. Because it's sad when the girl talks about how she keeps asking, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, she's so used to being told what to do, she can't think for herself. I don't know what you want me to do. And then text, 2 weeks later she took her life. And she declared love for her master. Like, that was sad. And that was grim, but creepy. I think if you had the killer die, and then she still felt this way, it's depressing, but I don't know, that one just would be a more... a more fitting... Plus it would work with the reality of it. Like, why would you show tapes of a killer that's still out there? But this would be more like they don't show stuff of someone who's already dead. That might not make fucking sense, but that seems like the sentiment. Of course, to me, they would never show the real stuff because it'd be immoral anyway. So that's why I never believe any of this shit was real. But I don't know, just personal preference. I would prefer the ending that just seemed like a sequel bait. But I guess it's one of those films, if you're into mockumentaries and found footage, it's not going to be everyone. I know, like, my friend Efrey would not be his cup of tea. Although I do recommend films like As Above, So Below and Exist. Those are good. But, like, films like this would not be, like, my friend Efrey's cup of tea, which I don't blame him for. This is not a movie I would pick up. I enjoy, like, Butterfly Kisses more and other stuff. This, I would never see myself picking up, but it was better than I thought it would be. Because of the fake documentary portions. Again, the Dateline almost type of stuff. That, to me, gave it a bit of structure. It made it so that it wasn't just redundancy and repetitive. Gave insight to what's going on, so it made it a bit interesting, a bit more of a packaged whole of a movie. And yeah, I did not mind the Poughkeepsie Tapes. So with that said, thanks for watching, take care, we will see you guys later. Bye bye.